Welcome to Conversations with Neal Andrews. This program brings major issues facing the city of Ventura into wider public view, promoting timely discussion directly with the people involved in, concerned with, or affected by those issues. Councilman Andrews provides candid discussions regarding vital matters affecting city politics and political life, including key decisions that your city council and administration face. Andrews is committed to bringing you the pros and cons of these important issues with his unique perspectives based on many years of experience in business and government. We hope you'll enjoy the dialogue.
Hi, and welcome again to Conversations with Neal Andrews. I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat, as you can obviously tell, but we'll work through it today because this is a very important show. We're going to talk about the Rubicon Theatre Company and their upcoming production of A Christmas Carol as adapted by Carolyn Burns. Now, I have as my guest today Brian McDonald, who's the director, and Peter Van Norden, who's going to be playing Scrooge. And welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
So
Great
much.
to be here.
Yeah.
Let's talk first a little bit about your own backgrounds and credentials. Let's start with you, Brian. I know you're so impressive. When I looked at all the list, all the accomplishments, I thought, well, I'll never be able to pick out the really important ones. So you'll have to tell me.
Well, yeah, I'm originally from New York, from Long Island, and at a very young age, I was really interested in theater. Went to school at Boston Conservatory. And was really very fortunate to have a pretty nice theater career as an actor. Toured the country. Probably one of my biggest credits was the national tour of Miss Saigon, and which I toured the country with for about 2.5 years.
Right.
And that brought me to California. And I figured before I head back to New York, let me just check out LA. And I did, and I never left.
Uh-huh.
So I was doing some television in LA, mostly theater, and through, the connections of friends that I knew, I found myself coming up and teaching acting here in Ventura at the Rubicon. And I just loved the area, I loved the people. Started a summer musical theater program for students. This was back in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then after that, they asked me to be on staff, and I just jumped at the chance. And so I've been there ever since.
You've been a great asset too, I can tell you.
Well, thank you.
We all appreciate all the work you do, especially the work with the kids in our community.
Hey, I feel incredibly blessed. Here I am. It's rare for, I will say it was difficult, even for the little short periods of time in which I was not in a show or not doing something. You sort of had a little bit of a sense of loss of identity, because I had all this energy and I just wanted to create and do stuff. And I think that deep down, I always wanted to be part of something consistently that I could actually feel, the sense of connection to a community and growth and making some change. I mean, which I think ultimately is, the thing that feeds me the most. So I feel blessed to be able to do that every single day at Rubicon, and of course in this incredible community, and getting to work with fantastic, unbelievable actors like this guy.
Yeah, well, Peter, what about you?
What about me? I'm also from Long Island.
Are you really?
I didn't realize you were from Long Island.
No, I didn't know. Where?
Lynbrook.
Oh, Port Jefferson.
Unbelievable. We've worked together for 2 years now. I didn't know. Yeah, I was born in New York, or as I like to say, I was born in a small island back east,
Yes.
Manhattan. Lived in the Bronx till I was 5. Grew up on Long Island, and I've been doing theater and film and television for 40 years now, basically. A lot of Broadway and off-Broadway in New York in my early career. Moved to LA in '82, and I've been doing basically film and television and a fair amount of theater since then. This will be the 4th time I've played Scrooge. I did it twice in San Diego. I did it last year here at the Rubicon. The things that people recognize me from, Police Academy. I did one of the Police Academy moves. I played Steve Gutenberg's partner in Police Academy Part 2. I did an 8-hour miniseries that Stephen King wrote called The Stand.
Oh, yes.
I played one of the guys who actually saves the world in the stand. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. It's okay. Other things. The movie that Jodie Foster won the Oscar for, called The Accused. I'm the defense attorney for the bad guys in that movie. So those are the things that, and a lot of television, dozens and dozens of television episodes. I wouldn't even know where to begin on those.
Well, that's okay. But you mentioned you've done Scrooge several different times, and one of the things about the show is everybody knows the story. Now I don't know what Carolyn has done in her adaptation to make it different, but everybody knows the story. They know where it starts and where it ends. So how does this production? How do you motivate people to want to see this production?
Well, that I will say was the beginning of our conversations about this. I mean, we started each year. I will say it's a very difficult thing to figure out what kind of show, during the holidays is going to get people to come to the theater, And so we're always looking for something that is going to, I think, complement, that kind of entertainment that people want to see. For years, Carolyn really avoided Christmas Carol because I think a lot of the times we didn't want to produce something that we felt was just rote. We didn't want to present something that was the same old. And I said to her, well, why don't we just do our own? Why don't we adapt it? And she said, oh, right, okay, yeah, let's do that. I think we could do that. And that was that. And the goal was exactly that, was to have people come and experience Christmas Carol in a way that they had never experienced it. I think we wanted it to be as entertaining and joyful and fun as you would expect. But also, I think I particularly really was interested in a production that was really going to move people, that was really going to sort of get them to hear it in a different way. We have scenes, a lot of it is taken directly from the book. And in fact, the style of this particular production is unlike any that you've ever seen, where it is in the book it style. There's a theater company that in Seattle, I think it is, right?
Seattle.
Yeah, that where you have actors that are also narrating the character. So there's excerpts taken directly from the book, and then they're also incorporating or flowing right into the dialogue of the scene. So it's a very theatrical event, which I think is also very exciting because it allows the audience to project their ideas of what the world is around these characters. It sort of keeps them engaged. I think theater is at its best when it is not trying to be something that a movie can do, or something where you've got all of it spelled out for you. Let's engage the audience through the language and allowing them to use their imagination and take this journey with us. And there's some audience engagement back and forth. There's a few surprises. I also think that one of the interesting things is a lot of Christmas carols, you'll see the narrator in the piece, either it's Charles Dickens or sometimes maybe it's Tiny Tim. Here, Carolyn has chosen to use the character of Marley, which is played by Joe Spano. And so he primarily is our navigator through this journey.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a twist.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's a great thing that Marley is the sort of the overseer of this event, because he is Scrooge's partner, and he's the one who comes back and says, "Watch out! Be careful! What happened to me is going to happen to you."
Yeah, you're doing yourself in.
And so he's the one who sort of guides him, overlooks it all, and says, and pushes it forward as to where he needs to go.
Yeah. One of the things that's so remarkable about this show, and I think it's a challenge, is that it really, for the first half at least, it's pretty somber story. And you have to get past that. First you have to have the audience understand what that's all about, but you have to get past it in order for them to be relieved at the end, don't you think?
It's, I say this whenever I talk about this piece. Scrooge's redemption is the audience's redemption. If Scrooge is redeemed properly, if you really feel emotionally attached to him becoming a human being, then you yourself see that in yourself. You see that change in yourself. That's what makes the piece incredibly moving, and that's what makes this production, because this production is very literate. It uses a lot of Dickens. The language is terrific and wonderful, but it is Scrooge's redemption that is the heart of the piece, you know. And you can't make that cute. It's not cute. It is somber and it is serious. It's a very serious issue. But you're right that the joy in the last 15 minutes of the piece is enormous, because it is the audience's realization that they too need to be redeemed the way Scrooge is redeemed.
Now, Brian, we have a clip. Is this where we should probably lay it in?
Yeah, we do. In fact, this is, I'll set this up so it's the final moments where Scrooge is confronted with the ghost of the Christmas future, and he is confronted with his own possible future and asks for redemption. And so this is Peter Van Norden.
At his best.
At his best, yes, absolutely.
Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or the shadows of things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends to which, if they be persevered in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it is thus with what you show me. Am I that man that lay upon the bed? No, spirit! No! No, spirit! Hear me! I am not the man that I was. I will not be the man that I must have been but for this intercourse. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Spirit! Tell me that I may yet change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all free shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me that I may sponge away the writing on this stone.
And that, of course, Peter, is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
In terms of this lift, and if it's successful, which it is, it lifts the whole audience.
The audience, you know, we all like to sit there and go, oh, I know people like that. I know people like Scrooge. I know people. But by the end of this play, what we say is, it's part of me. It's part of who I am. And I need to do the same thing. I need to reach out to other people. I need to be the person who's responsible for helping other people and not leave that into the hands of others. That's what Scrooge learns.
Right.
It's him. He has to be the one to reach out. And I think the audience comes to some kind of realization that it's not just those people out there who are all Scrooges. It's all of us. It's all of us.
Right. One of the things we struggle with all the time here in the city of Ventura is trying to engage our community in the work of helping our neighbors, whether they're the homeless or the poor or the ill and infirm. And you know, in modern America today, Ventura is no exception. In modern America today, people are so involved in their own lives that they just aren't very well engaged in the life of their community. And they certainly, you know, my goodness, people don't even know their neighbors in many communities.
Absolutely
Don't know who they are. So we work a lot here on trying to help people get past themselves and get involved in creating a healthy and productive society. It's really a challenge to do, and this show is going to help us help them do that, I think.
Absolutely.
From what you're saying, yeah.
I mean, I think, well, for me, one of the beautiful things about theater is that it teaches empathy. I mean, you can't help, no matter what we do, and my work with students, it's incredibly evident that by talking about someone that's different, where we differ from people, and sort of investigating why that is, you end up creating a special ability to always look to recognize that, or to ask questions about what what their point of view is, and it brings our community together without all that other stuff that may divide us. That we can come together and share in our own humanity.
Right.
No matter whether it's Christmas Carol or whatever, that's what the theater does, and allows us to talk about those things, to come together in that collective and embrace it. And honestly, there's no place I'd rather be. To me, that's my church.
It is.
That's my church.
We always call it church, It's like,
Yeah. Well, it started there.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, obviously, this is a family show,
Yeah.
and how do you think the children are going to relate to this show? What would be special for them?
Well, first of all, as Peter said, it is literal. I mean, they're literary. It's taken text directly from the book. But we do incorporate music throughout. I mean, it is called A Christmas Carol.
Right.
The book is written in staves, right, instead of chapters. Right. So the element of music is very much a part of it. And I think coming from a musical theater background, my tendency is always to sort of fuel a piece with that sense of musicality, do you know what I mean,
right,
which can be really complex. And of course, we have Broadway singers that are also involved in the show. Terry Bibb, who was in Phantom of the Opera, she played Christine. Jennifer Lee Warren. I mean, so we've got some extraordinary vocals in this. But for those people that are really also looking for more music, or for the kids that are looking for something a little bit lighter and fun, we also have our Tiny Tots concert and Santa party. Which is really fun. This is definitely for the little ones, and we have 2 concerts. They're 30-minute concerts. Tickets are $10, and then afterwards they get to go downstairs and take pictures with Santa and Frosty and Rudolph and Santa's elves. I mean, it is really, really fun. The Rubicon Harmonics, which are a youth singing group that's been together for about 6 years now, have incredible vocals, and they put together this concert, and there's a sing-along, so that's something that people can check out. It's also a very popular show, and it's just been growing and growing each year, so I'm really excited about that. And then just for a wonderful family affair, we have our Harmonics Holiday Concert, which is a benefit that benefits our education and outreach programs. In that concert, you'll see, I think, more classic Christmas music, and appearances by Terry Bibb, who we just mentioned from Phantom of the Opera, Jennifer Lee Warren, and some of our other cast members from Christmas Carol will participate in that. And that's on, the Tiny Tots concerts are on December 10th and 17th, and the Harmonics concert is December 18th. So.
Okay, so it's all this running together in the holiday season.
That's right. Yeah. Holiday Central at Rubicon.
Yeah.
I also think, for, in terms of bringing your family, it's an important piece to bring your kids to.
Yeah.
He wrote it. 1847. He wrote the novel. It's a morality tale.
Yes, it is.
Without a doubt. And kids learn tremendous amount about the value of being human by seeing this. Yeah, it's a little scary. There's ghosts, but like I said, the joy of the piece by the end is really contagious. I will say that when I was a little kid, This piece had a tremendous effect on me. It's why I love playing Scrooge so much. Because there was a show in New York called $1 Million Movie. They would show one movie every week, twice a night, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So you'd be on 10 times during the week. And every holiday season, they would show the Alistair Sim Christmas Carol. And I would watch it 10 times. I loved it. I could not get enough of it. And I think, bring your kids, they're going to love this piece.
Yes, indeed. It's certainly a classic. And I recall first seeing it actually on television.
Right.
Then later I saw one of the movies. I don't remember which version it was, but it probably was one you're referring to.
There's so many.
Yeah. But you know, I never, until I was well into my adult years, never saw it on stage. And so.
Most people haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was always fun for me, always fun. Now, in terms of the morality part of this, though, that you're talking about, the theater has always provided an opportunity to communicate to its audience moral issues, and the greatest of theater always does that. Always does it. Whether you go back to the Greek tragedies or modern theater. From an actor's perspective, Peter, when you look at a script, do you look for the moral issue first, or do you look for the character issue, or the character challenge?
I would, from an acting point of view, well, I've been doing this a long time, so it changes over your career. You know, when you're 20, you don't look for anything except how big is my part, and you know, do I have any lines, or you know.
Right.
Well, I'm not 20 anymore. So the thing that I look for is the story. What is the story? Will it engage people? Will they want to know where we're going with this story? If it's a classic, as you say, they already know the story, right? So then the issue becomes different. It's how are you telling this story in a way that they will make them listen?
Right.
So for me, the first thing is it has to be a good story, right? Then, of course, it becomes, what is the story trying to say? The morality issue becomes critical, you know. I have to say, as an actor over the years, you're going to be involved in morality pieces that sometimes you don't agree with. And you're going to be involved in ones that you think are really important, you know. That's the job. The job is to play the character, to tell the story, whatever that story is. So that, for me, that's the first thing. Then you get involved with, how does my character fit into the arc of this story in comparison with all the other characters in the play? What choices do I need to make in terms of playing this character? Technical choices, obviously. You know, does he have an accent? What does he look like? What does he wear? So that's all involved. But the most important thing to me is what's the story we're telling here? And will the audience be involved? Will they be involved? If they're not involved, you're not going to have a good play. I don't care what you're trying to do with it. You know?
Well, I know that you wouldn't know. Brian, I don't think you would even know. I used to do community theater here. I did a show, typically one show a year, because it's all the time I could commit. We would rehearse for about 8 weeks and put the production on in 8 weeks. And, you know, 2 months out of my, or 4 months out of my year was gone. And that's all I could do. But I always enjoyed it. And I was never as sophisticated as you guys are.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I do agree that for me, the question was always, do I like the story?
Right.
Do I like the story? And then after that, it was a question of, what can I do to make this story come alive for other people? And I sometimes hammed it up.
Sometimes that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was. Sometimes it was the right thing to do.
My mom likes to tell me this very embarrassing story about when I was a kid, and I would do the same kinds of things. Like I was playing Michael in Peter Pan, right? Little Michael. and I had this onesie, right, with a little thing that the button flap that would come down in the back, right? And somehow every performance, it would just sort of, it would pop open, it would just sort of, any sort of way I could find some sort of thing to, to draw attention, Even I occasionally in New York, I played as, extras in movies, right, background stuff, and you'd see me in theirs. And so there's a couple of movies where definitely you'll be watching, and then all of a sudden, there was what was it, I shot Andy Warhol. We're all these audience members, and they're shooting down the row, right, of the aisle. And of course, I'm sitting in my seat, and I go like this. So my friends and I would go to the movies, and then we'd burst out with laughter when we'd see this stuff. And of course, everybody'd be looking around like, "What are they laughing at?" Yeah, I was a bit of a ham stealer. Oh, come on. Weren't we all? You wasn't.
I still am.
I should say, we all had our moments of that. That's for sure. Well, we got a couple of minutes left here. What's coming up next for you guys?
Gosh, well, we're always doing so much. For me, personally, I'm going to be doing the Festival of Talent this year. This is, I think, my 9th year doing it, which, of course, raises funds for VOSD VEP grants, which the teachers can use.
Ventura Education Partnership.
That's right.
Unified School District.
So that's really exciting, and we're going with sort of a theme of diversity, Rock the World, it's called. So that's going to be really fun. And at Rubicon, we have Gulf View Drive, which is coming up. This is the third installment of the Nibrock trilogy.
Okay.
And it's been wildly popular. Incredibly moving story, very small, intimate story of this relationship, and we were able to film the first and second installments of this, and they'll present those at the Century Movie Theater. So for those people that may have missed it, or those people that just want to go back and take a look at it, and experience it again before seeing Gulf View Drive, they can do that. So, and the actors that were in that are coming back. So, in fact, it was just got a bunch of Ovation nominations. So we're really excited about that as well.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And Peter, in 15 seconds, what's up for you?
15 seconds. I'm doing 2 shows in LA before we actually start rehearsals for Christmas Carol. I'm doing a reading of a new play at the Boston Court Theater in Pasadena that's called Passing. Very interesting new play about British colonialism in a fictional African country. And then I'm going to do the next show for LA Theater Works, which does staged radio plays, has been doing them for many years. This is a piece by Richard Greenberg called The Assembled Parties. And it's me and Dana Delaney and Susan Sullivan and Seamus Dever and a lot of wonderful actors. Jo Beth Williams is directing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey,
great.
one last thing, by the way. People want to purchase tickets for Christmas Carol. If they do that by the 15th of November, they automatically get entered to win a home visit from Santa on Christmas Eve. So
Okay, folks, so purchase your quick tickets early.
Yeah.
That's the message there. Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Pleasure.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
It was great to see you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.